What's up?
Hola.
Good people. Come
Let's
on in here.
go.
You know what time it is. Hopefully you have had yourself a great day.
Come on in.
Hopefully today has been amazing. We're going to have this conversation on today. So we need you to get on in the room. You understand?
Come on, Bel Air.
We are going to be talking about something on tonight. We want to give a shout out to our homeboy Richie Belair, also known as Rich Echoes. This is his song Battles. We just want to give him a shout out. Did a phenomenal job with this single. Just so proud of him. See what God is doing through him. So if you have a chance, go to you can get this single on any of these streaming platforms. All right. So we'll give y'all a couple more moments to get in here so we can have this conversation. You understand what I'm saying? All right. Cause you know what I say. You know, we gotta silence it before Facebook recognizes what's going on. Because I don't want to have an attitude with Richie. You know, that's my homie. Don't want to have an attitude. Don't want to be mad at him
for the block out.
For getting blocked out, you know. So tonight we are going to have this conversation. You know what time it is. It's Monday. You see these two wonderful faces sitting in front of you. It's after 9 o'clock. That can only mean one thing. That means it's Marriage Village Mondays. Oh yes, we're coming back at you. We're coming back at you on tonight. I know last weekend we were not on.
Listen, we had to recuperate. I had to recuperate.
So hopefully we get you back into the room. We can get you guys into having this conversation. Tonight, we're going to have a pretty good conversation, I believe. We're going to be talking about something that I believe that all of us experience at one point in time or another in our life, in our relationships, in our friendships, just doing life with people. You run into this particular situation. Tonight, we're going to be talking about battles.
Battles. What a fitting song to kick it off with.
Absolutely.
But before we start talking about battles, you know what you're supposed to do. What we supposed to do.
You can ask me how my day was. Why I always gotta be the one to ask?
I mean, you spoiled me.
No. You spoiled me now. Ask me what.
First of all, the question
is unto me. How am I doing?
The question is to the people.
Oh,
first.
Okay.
How are y'all doing out there?
Yes.
And so I don't have my extra device where I can't, sometimes I'm on two devices trying to go back and forth, seeing what's up on Facebook, seeing what's up over here. I can't do that. So comment if you would like to.
Yes.
Let us know what's going on, how you living, how you feeling.
Absolutely.
I know we had a great weekend. I will say that. I want to know about your day, but I just want to share with the people about the weekend. The weekend was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal on
Good
Friday. Friday we got to hang out with our
Who
big
goes
brother.
There? My bad.
I think he might be showing out because tonight we're streaming from two different platforms.
Yeah.
So we're Facebook and YouTube now. Praise the Lord.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I think
go on and do what you do, man.
But anyway, we had the pleasure of hanging out with our big brother and big sister, the Duns.
Absolutely.
All weekend, Jonathan and Tara. That was fun. We had a good time. Good time with them. And so good time of ministry, good time of just being together. It's nothing like being around people that just know you, right?
Absolutely.
I met Jonathan back in college. So that y'all 30 years, your girl, 30 years ago. And so anyway, and then, meeting Tara, his wife, and I'm not going to gas them up on this, but I'll say it was just like we just clicked. I don't know. We just kind of we clicked, and it's just like I've known her forever. And so anyway, this weekend was just good to be around. If you ever just had an opportunity to be around somebody and it's just mature conversation. What's up, elder sis?
What's up, elder sis?
Good to see you on here, Swan.
Yeah.
If you ever just been around people that are just good people and it's just a mature conversation, then we reconnected with one of our little big brothers or big little brothers, that prophet Ronald Hubbard. And we cut up and had a good time in the word, good time in conversation. And so this was it was good for me. How'd you feel about the weekend?
It was a good weekend. It was a great weekend, actually. It was just good to be around normal people, like being around people who ain't weird, who not up and down, not iffy, just solid people. And I think sometimes it's just when you've been in a season where a lot of things have been very unsettled or very up and down or very inconsistent, and then you get around your people who have been consistent through time. You've been around the people who have loved you the same way, regardless of how you were showing up, regardless of how you were acting in a particular time. They have been consistent. So I just think I found it very refreshing to be around our family who have been consistent through time.
Yeah.
So it was great for me. I really needed that.
Yeah. Now on to today. How was your day, Seth?
My day was great. I had a great day. I love my job. I do.
Shout out to Christian Academy.
Yeah, man. I love my job. I love my team, my supervisor, and my manager. They are just wonderful individuals, man. Just great people. And they make my job so easy. I just go in and anyone who knows us know we love kids. So just being around kids, being around great people, it's just fun, man. So I had a great Monday. How about you?
I did too. I started my day. So my Mondays are my half and half days. So half of the day in Indiana at our campus there, and then half of the day at our executive offices here in Kentucky. And so today was a good day. I love starting my Monday off. I don't want to say by myself, right? Because I love my team as well. We got a solid team. I love my office mate. I don't know. It's just real. It's good. It's good. God did something good with us, with Christian Academy.
Absolutely.
At the same time, I like to ease into my Monday, especially just period. I'm gonna say especially. I just like to ease into Monday, and so I love the option of going to Indiana on Mondays because I'm in an office by myself. I can kind of let my prayer music play out loud. I don't have to really be considerate of anyone else in the space because there's no one else but me. And so I love it. I love doing that on Mondays. But today was a good day. Elder Swan, I see you. You said consistency when we were talking about just this weekend being around people that are consistent, right? And she said consistency in a good way. And that's what we need. We need those solid relationships, reciprocal relationships. And here's the thing about being in a reciprocal relationship, whether it is a friendship or marriage, a dating relationship, whatever it is. The good thing is, or the thing that I've learned is, reciprocal doesn't mean we're always giving equal amount, right? Reciprocal means sometimes reciprocal means I'm not able to give right now and you're pouring in, but 2 months down the road you may need the same in return. And so I love that about reciprocity. All it really means is that it's not a one-sided relationship.
Absolutely.
Right? It's not out of balance. So I love it.
And I think for me it's just being able to in this season of my life, I need consistent people around me. All this up and down stuff, all this emotional stuff. I understand sometimes you're gonna be emotional, but overly emotional in this particular time in my life, I can't do it.
Yeah, and I mean everybody, like you said, we all have off days, right? But if you off today, on tomorrow, off today, on I can't do it either. Because at some point there needs to be some maturing in you where you get that thing under control and where you're one way more times than not.
And selfish people in this season of my life is really just annoying me.
So no, thank you,
man. So I'm finding myself in a place right now where I'm okay just not having people around, not needing to be around a lot of people. I know who my village is, and I'm okay with that village right now. Like, nah, I need consistent people. All this emotionally unstable, I can't do it. I just can't do it. Like, not right now. So today we're gonna get into this conversation where we are talking. Tyrone, what up, boy? Hey, listen, congrats. He just got ordained as a deacon in the house of the Lord.
Come on,
you understand what I'm saying?
Brother.
Congrats, bro. You know we are sorry we couldn't be there. We were out ministering that weekend, man. But you already know our heart and our mind was with you. And if we were in town, you already know we would have been there. Absolutely. So tonight we are going to talk about battles.
Battles.
You know, every now and again in a man and woman's life, you just have battles. You know, you might just wake up in the morning, have a nasty attitude, dealing with someone with a bad attitude, just phone call in the room, you know what I'm saying? And you just have to deal with it. So tonight, we want to know how you are dealing with your battles.
So what would you... Okay, so you said like it could be the battle of a bad attitude.
Yeah.
Being in a relationship with someone that has a bad attitude.
Yeah.
That could be in your marriage. Mm-hmm. That could be in a friendship. Mm-hmm. That could be on your job. And so for those of you joining for the first time tonight, especially our YouTube loves, our YouTube friends, this is a platform where you're in the village. If you're on the live, if you're on the stream, you're in the village, right?
Absolutely.
And so what we're doing is we pull from the villagers to kind of hear what you all have to say, as well as sharing. So this is not a monologue as much as we are on this live. Absolutely. Right? But we're looking for conversation. And so unfortunately, I can't even look at the YouTube link right now to converse with you, but I promise I will go back in the feed and watch it. And then next week, when we set up, we'll have both options to be able to do it in real time.
Yeah, so I think like when you think of battles, right? And especially when it comes to like battles in relationship and then in internal battles with yourself, you know, there's certain things that we all war with on a consistent basis, right? We all have these things that challenge us in relationship, challenge us in life in the general sense. So the question is how are you handling those battles? How are you approaching those battles? How are you overcoming those battles? The song says, "Love is a battlefield."
Huh? Is that Pep in the top?
Yeah.
Let's go.
Love is a battlefield. So like when you are in love, sometimes you find yourself in a battle while in love.
Yeah. Tyrone said, first of all, you have to recognize that it's the devil. Don't let him win. He works through your spouse, children.
You better speak, boy.
Okay, so here's what we know. You are absolutely right. What we know about Satan, he comes not just in the form of a serpent.
Listen,
Martin,
listen,
let me come back. But yeah, he looks for openings, right?
Absolutely.
And so we're not gonna get super deep on here tonight, but I will say this. Yesterday, the word was so rich because it was talking about, you know, that which is born of the flesh is flesh, and that which is born of the spirit is the spirit.
Yeah.
And so the devil, Satan, as it were, operates according to our what? Flesh. He wants to influence the flesh, and he will influence it in whatever opening he can get in, whatever crack, whatever window, however he can get in, he will, to get you off balance and living less than your best life. Hey, D, I'll say good morning, Lord. I'm turning into Alonzo.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Sister D in the house. But see, this is the thing. I think the first place that the enemy will try to war with us and battle with us is I believe I'm not gonna go where I wanted to go. I'm gonna start in another place, and we're gonna work to
all right.
What I feel the most, and the place that he battles us the most. But I think one of the most hidden places that he battles us is in our emotions. He deals with us through our emotions and get us to get emotionally unstable and cause us to war in areas and with people that we don't have to war with. But because we are emotional, because our emotions are telling us what to do instead of us telling our emotions what to do, they control us. They control how we talk. They control how we handle people. They control how we show up at work, how we show up in relationship. So the question is, it's like, how are you dealing with the battle of your emotions?
Yeah. So tonight, if you're just joining, our topic is battles. We're talking about the different things or the different ways that we battle and the different things we battle against. And so, like you said, hey daughter, what's going on,
Hey,
CJ?
daughter.
You said the most hidden or the most, I guess, under identified place where we battle is in our emotions.
Absolutely.
Right? Because what happens in your emotions, see, emotions will create scenarios that are not real.
Absolutely.
Right. Because all they are concerned about is being felt or, coming out. Emotions need to get out. And so you will have a whole scenario created in your emotions about something, but you're really just creating that with yourself.
Absolutely.
You and your emotions are making this thing up. And so 9 times out of 10, the people that you're making it up against don't stand a chance because you've already been judge, jury, and executioner all in one because of what's going on emotionally.
You've already made a whole scenario. You don't already put somebody in a place. You don't already gave somebody a verdict. You don't already told somebody how they are, what they meant, what they were thinking. First of all, how you won't tell that person what they were thinking when they did something if you're not that person?
Yes. No matter who you are, you cannot tell a person what they're thinking. The only person that knows the thoughts of a man or a woman is God. And the only being, that knows the thoughts of a man or a woman is God. He's the only one.
Listen, and a lot of times, I think the problem with that is that when you do that, you take the ability away to be able to have a rational conversation. Because now you don't already, if they told you the truth, 9 times out of 10, you ain't gonna hear it. 9 times out of 10, you're not gonna believe it. Why? Because your emotions have already told you what you believe. Your emotions have already told you what your truth is.
Emotions equal irrationality.
Absolutely.
Why? Because, and I'll say unstable emotions will equal irrationality. Because if you are unstable emotionally, you cannot make a sound. If you're being rational, that means you're in sound mind. You're making a wise judgment, a sound judgment. When you're emotional, no way. When your emotions are all over the place, there's no way you can make a steady, sound, stable judgment about anything. And so it is a battle because the flesh likes to be felt.
Absolutely.
Right. And the emotions are a part of our flesh, and they want to be catered to.
Absolutely.
And so you have to battle that, because sometimes, okay, so I'm going to see the best way I can say this. Sometimes we want to be validated in our emotionalism. There's a difference between validating how I feel about something versus validating my emotionalism.
Absolutely. And then the question back is like, what are you using to validate how you're feeling? Mm-hmm. Are you using truth to validate how you feel? Because if you're not using truth to validate how you feel, then you're already setting your emotional state of being on unstable ground.
Yeah.
You're already setting your emotional foundation on sand.
Yeah, and you can't win. You cannot win when you're on sand. I mean, have you ever just tried walking in sand?
Listen.
And don't let it be sand in Florida. That's 100 and something degrees and you trying to walk on it. Sand is already unstable. And now you trying to get quickly through it.
Listen.
To not get burned up, get your feet burned up.
And don't add no other elements into that sand. Listen, you put some water in that sand, oh my God. You are going to have a hard time walking because it's not the foundation is not solid. It's not in a place where you can stand on it. When you start standing, it starts to get uneven. It starts to get unstable. It starts to get wobbly. You know what I'm saying? So how can you, the worst thing to do is to try to walk and you're wobbling.
Yeah.
All over the place. You can't get your footing. That's the most uncomfortable place to be in. What is that? What's Tyrone saying?
He says, and I've learned how to find a safe place. Take time to separate yourself from the battlefield. Walk away. Go for a ride. Create a prayer closet. Don't engage with your emotions all over the place. It is easier said than done. Okay, so this pushes us forward in the conversation to when you are dealing with your battling in your emotions and you're in a relationship. It could be in an emotional conversation with you and your husband, you and your boyfriend, your girlfriend, whomever, and you're trying to have a conversation, but buttons are getting hit. And sometimes it's either triggers, it's buzzwords, it's, whatever those things are that are bringing the emotions to the surface. You cannot have a healthy conversation that way. Why are you laughing?
Because you said a key word though. You said you leave your emotions exposed so they can be touched. They can be poked at. You leave your emotions exposed. Like if you leave your emotions exposed, and people, first of all, if you are dealing with a person who wants to get you in an emotional place and they know how to press your buttons, what you think they're gonna do? They're gonna press your buttons.
That's their intent. If their intention is to set you off emotionally, they're pressing every button available.
Listen, I remember when I played basketball. And one of the tactics that we would use in playing basketball to get another player off his game is to talk trash. We would talk trash. We would talk about your mama. We would talk about your daddy.
So rude.
It didn't matter. We talked about everything. We would talk about your everybody in your family. We would talk about the shoes you had on. We would talk about the how big your head was,
nice.
how wide your nose was. Didn't matter. Why? Because we were trying to get a competitive advantage. And you have to understand, in battle, people are trying to get competitive advantages.
It's true. And you would think in a marriage relationship, right, that I'm not going to do that, right? Because I'm preferring my spouse. I'm thinking of him above myself. But when you are in an emotional situation and you're just trying to be hurt, your emotions are trying to be heard or come out, they have no regard for the covenant that you're in for a marriage. They have no regards. Your emotions don't care how you look. Your emotions will have you looking crazy out here in these streets,
looking full crazy,
looking like a nut, right? And so
looking like a fool with your pants on the ground.
So I talked about something maybe a few weeks ago. I don't know if I said it on here, but I was having a rough morning.
Yeah, you said it on here.
Yeah, and one of my coworkers was like, I just wanted to get away from you.
Yeah.
Because the person I showed up as in my emotions was not the person that she was working with for the last 4 to 6 months. She was like, I knew something was wrong. You were not yourself. So your emotions, not only will they have you looking like a fool, they will damage your character if you're not careful. When you operate in emotionalism, it's character damaging. Even if in a relationship, sometimes if you're dating someone and they don't really know you very well and you go into this emotional fit, they're not looking at it all the time like, oh, that's just one thing. They're looking at it like, this chick is nuts and I'm getting away from her. Or this dude is crazy. He's got anger issues. So we have to do our best to get our emotions under control. That's a battle we can win, but it does take discipline. Like Tyrone said, it's easier said than done.
Absolutely.
And it's so true. D says, but it doesn't feel good. It's a horrible thing. You got that right.
Absolutely.
You got it right. She said, I'm not going to repeat what our daughter said. Lord have mercy. Elder Swan says, the trigger doesn't destroy us. It's our finger on the trigger that gets us. You got that
absolutely
right. When you pull it, when
Listen.
A bullet is not released until the trigger is
Listen,
pulled.
and a lot of us, if we're honest, we go around with the gun loaded. We got the gun loaded. We go into a situation ready to shoot.
And it's true because, right? So if you have been through something, you like, okay, and this, we talk about this in another session, but we've talked about this before, but we'll do it again, maybe in the future. Inner vows. If you've been through something that has hurt you emotionally, then you set up that inner vow by saying, I will never allow that to happen to me again. Now, here's the thing. In theory, it's nothing wrong with not wanting to repeat something that was unpleasant or painful. Right? There's nothing wrong with that. But when you start saying, I will never do X, Y, and Z, I will never allow myself X, Y, and Z. So basically what you're saying is, I will never be vulnerable again, and you will never have a successful relationship without vulnerability.
Because you just said it out of your mouth with your words. That's why the word talks about life and death being in the power of your tongue. What you say can either free you or damn you.
Got that right.
What you say can either free you or put you in bondage.
Yeah.
So how are you going to deal with what you're saying and how it's impacting your environment? Because now that becomes a battle. Because if you're bound, trying to get free is a battle.
It is.
It's an uphill battle when you are bound, and you are bound by your words. Oh my Lord, man. You get caught up in all kinds of crazy situations. You barely can get set free.
That's the truth. Elder Swan said, my emotions belong to me. I don't belong to my emotions. Correct. And that's the thing. We have to, sometimes, some of y'all need to say that out loud. When you start getting in those moments and it feels like your emotions are overtaking you, you need to say out loud, my emotions belong to me.
Absolutely.
I don't belong to my emotions.
Absolutely.
Because when you belong to your emotions, they will drive you every which way into crazy town. Right into crazy town.
Absolutely. The next place that the next place that we battle in a lot of times is, like the first thing we said, your emotions. Your emotions cause battles. Your attitudes cause battles. How you show up will cause a battle. How are you showing up?
So you said number 2 is attitudes, or how you show up, or is it combined?
Combined.
Okay, got you. So how your attitude will determine how you show up.
That's
period.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
exactly.
What you feel about a situation, how you feel about the relationship, how you feel about the job you're going to, how you feel about that friend that is taking you for granted, that your attitude about that is going to determine 100% how you show up in that space or in that relationship.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of times we don't think about how we're showing up. When was the last time you actually thought about how you showed up? When was the last time you actually asked people who are in a consistent environment with you, how am I showing up?
Because I'm going to let you know right now, when you start asking that question, people can't wait to tell you. People cannot wait to tell you,
Absolutely.
Especially if you're showing up poorly. That's awful that people they enjoy those opportunities to tell you when you're not showing up right.
Well, you know what? This is what I'm learning to be okay with about that. I don't care that you have something to say about me if it's the truth.
I can go with that.
If you telling me the truth, and you can mean it maliciously, but if I can find truth in it, I'm gonna take that. Why? Because I want to do what's best for me to be better. So if you telling me something, even though you might mean it maliciously, I don't care. If I can find truth in it, I'm going with it.
Yeah, and so I think I want to be like you when I grow up. And I say that y'all know me. I can't. I'm a work in progress.
Hey, listen,
I am.
I
want to be like you when I grow up.
Let me say this.
Because if you coming at me, I don't want to. I don't care if it is true about me. I don't want to hear.
Let me say this though. It might sting, and I might be frustrated, but if I can find truth in it, I'm gonna take that truth, and I'm not gonna even be mad at you no more.
That's honorable.
You gave me a truth.
That's honorable.
You told me something that I needed to hear.
But you know why I have issues while I'm working on that? Because number one, I battle in my emotions at times. And so it comes out sometimes in my attitude. But also, and I think for the most part, I do pretty well. But here's the part. If somebody, the way that it's being presented to me, now you don't have to, oh, well, there's something I really need to say to you. You don't do that, right? Just say what you need to say. But if you're coming at my neck, it's very difficult for me to hear what you're saying, even if it's true. And that's you to anybody, Absolutely. Whether it is a supervisor, a friend, my husband, whomever, not coming at my neck. Now, you may need to say something a little bit stronger, right? So to get my attention. But if it feels dishonoring in the way you're presenting it to me, I'm probably going to reject it.
What's up, Stacy? Good to see you on tonight. What did the elder sis say?
She said, yes, being critically objective, truth versus fact driven versus being straight, nasty, emotional driven. Exactly. And that's why I'm like, because when the emotions are driving, I feel like when certain, thank you, Lord, when certain emotions are driving,
yeah,
I feel like there's an intent, like a nasty intent behind it.
And that could be, and it has happened, right? I know that certain people were being intentionally nasty, but the way I'm wired is if what you said was nasty, but in my heart I know it to be the truth, man, I can't be mad at you because now I'm dealing with my truth.
Well, do you think that? Well, I think. Do you think? You're built that way? Because so people that overcome or have overcome anger, they look for, when they genuinely have overcome it, they look for every opportunity not to go back there. Absolutely. So even if somebody's being nasty, yep. If I am a person that has overcome anger, even if you're trying to be nasty, I already know what I've overcome. I'm not even gonna let you do that. Yep. You think that has?
I believe that has a lot to do with it because that's almost like my defense mechanism. Like, because
find the good. That's a good defense mechanism.
I can't let you, because I know, get this, I know what that means for me. That might not mean punching holes in walls and knocking doors off the shingles for you. For me, it does. So guess what? The result can't be I'm punching holes in walls and knocking doors off shingles. So I have to now find a better way to deal with what makes me upset. I have to find a better way to deal with my battles, because my battles can't control me. Because if my battles control me, I'll always be in a battle.
You got that right.
So now I have to tell myself, I have to teach myself, I have to train myself to see the good in everything and see the objective in everything, because if it's coming to me, there's a reason why it's coming to me.
Right. Right. So if you're just joining tonight, we're talking about battles. The first place we say that we tend to battle is in our emotions. And then the next one is our attitude and how we show up. Yep. Because your attitude will determine how you show up in whatever, in relationship, again, on your job, in the ministry, right?
Absolutely. My dad used to say this. He would say, excuse me, I know that burp is gonna smell.
I don't want to.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
My dad would my dad would say, your attitude will determine your altitude. He used to say it to me.
He's in the military. That sounds like military stuff.
He used to tell me that all the time. Your attitude will determine your altitude. So your attitude will determine how far and how high you can go. Because typically, if people love being around you, you'll find yourself going up the ladder, even at work. If people like you, I'm gonna give my wife a shout out. I'm gonna give her a shout out today.
Who selected me?
Listen. So we work at the same place now, right? So now when I come in, Everybody says, hey, you're Cassie's husband, right? She's such a great person.
Thank you, Lord.
Across the board. She's such a great person. And what does that mean? That means now she has created a good rapport for herself, and people are speaking well of her. And when people speak well of you, when it comes to review time, people will look and see, hey, this person is a value add to the team. Let me give them a 5% raise. Let me give them a 10% raise. Let me give a 15 or 20% raise, because your attitude, how she shows up every day, is determining how far she's going.
And do you know, in addition, thank you, honey.
Yeah.
In addition to that, how you show up and how people begin to know you becomes your brand, right? And then when you're off brand, when you start showing up as the generic version of you,
right?
People don't want that.
Nah.
They want the brand name that you have established. And guess what? It's your fault.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
You did this. You showed up well.
Absolutely.
You showed up with this integrity. People have gotten used to that, accustomed to that. Again, not that you can't have an off day, right? And when we're talking about whether it's an off day in your relationship or in your day-to-day life, on your job or whatever, but when you have those consistently off times, then it's going to separate your brand. It's going to start diminishing impacting your brand. Elder Swan said, if you're going to hurt me with the truth. Don't ever comfort me with a lie. Just tell me the truth. Absolutely. And I had to, and so that's what I'm saying. I had to, I never wanted to be lied to, but I don't know people just thought that people would say, you're just so nice and you're so sweet and whatever. So people wouldn't want to say hard things to me. And I'm like, you're doing me a disservice. So at that point, we don't need to be in a relationship, because I don't care how nice and sweet a person is. They still need to hear truth.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What did Dr. Patrick say?
Dr. Patrick, welcome.
Good to see you, my friend.
He said, can our altitude, how high or low we are in humility or pride, determine our attitude toward others and ourselves? Absolutely.
Yes,
I'm gonna tell you right now, because when you listen,
coming in here, smashing heads, bro. Come on, Dr. Patrick. Come on, Doc.
I'm gonna tell you right now, that spirit of pride will
listen.
exalt you, or in your own mind, like that thing that makes you think that you're higher, or makes a person think they're higher than someone else.
Yeah,
it definitely affects their attitude toward others. Just that, I don't know. I'm a kind of bite my tongue on some things with that, because there's some stuff happening that I'm not really at liberty to speak about right now. But I will tell you this: the spirit of pride and the inability to humble yourself is of the devil.
Absolutely. And
there's no way around it. It's demonic. It's evil.
And it will cause separation.
It will.
It will cause issue in relationship.
Yeah. And if I'm high in humility, just as you said, if I'm high in humility, then my attitude toward others will definitely, I won't be looking at them as less than. And so here's the other thing I learned this weekend. Even if you are better at something than someone else, you can know that, because you don't ever want to operate in false humility. You can know that you're better, but you don't treat people like they're less than just because you have a greater skill set. Maybe you're a better communicator, or maybe you're a better, you're better able to do whatever. You don't treat people like they're less than because they are not as good as you in a certain area. Just be great.
Be great and be gracious that God
be great and be gracious.
Be gracious that He's graced you with the ability to be great.
Yeah, be great and be gracious. I love that.
Absolutely. Daughter said, repeat that. What part you want Ma to repeat, daughter? Dr. Patrick said
he said there's no room for an arrogant person to improve themselves because they do not recognize their flaws. Woo! Come on. Listen, can you please, Dr. Brown, I need you to type, because right now my brain is not doing what I want it to do, but I need you to type the name of the business ministry entity that God has blessed you to create, because people need to plug in to you with that. And I apologize, we should have done this sooner.
Absolutely.
But it just came to me. So please type it in.
Let me just take a moment to just speak about Dr. Patrick. He is probably one of the smartest guys that you can run into. The guy has degrees, but he's spirit filled and he's spirit led. And I appreciate people like that. And we got some smart people on here. Elders, Elder Sis, Elder Swan. We have some great Sister D.
Look, it's smart,
I'm trying to tell you,
led, and just wisdom.
Listen, man.
Yeah.
That right there.
The village.
I'm trying to tell you, man, like that right there.
He said, "Oh, bro, stop. LOL, those days in the barbershop."
Listen, man, but I don't forget those days. It is those days because a lot of those conversations that we had, and you didn't know this, but a lot of those conversations that we had was helping me through a tough season. My mom had just died. You didn't know. I don't know if you knew that or not. My mom had just died, and me and my wife were going through a tough time during that season. So those conversations were keeping me plugged in. Those conversations were helping me stay mindful. Yeah. You know what I mean? So, man, I appreciate you. Did he put his information in there?
He will. He's going to. I got to run that back, though.
Yeah, please.
I know we paused because we needed to. Mm-hmm. There's no room for an arrogant person to improve themselves because they do not recognize their flaws. They do not realize their blind spots, lacking self-awareness. I'm adding that. And surround themselves with those who only see their bright spots. And my thing is this: you can't be in a relationship with anyone, not real relationship, if you can't tell them their slip is hanging and they can't receive that, and vice versa.
Surrounding yourself around people who can only see your bright spots. Oh, man, that is my God.
That is a lopsided relationship. That's lopsided.
My God.
If you look at it,
but
Lord, go ahead.
That's so powerful because pride is blinding. Pride blinds you from seeing the truth.
Yes.
So if you got other people who are blinded by your pride, they're not going to tell you that you're not on your best because they're blinded by your pride.
Yeah, Lucifer 7 in the morning was bright.
Listen.
And people were blinded and deceived by that brightness. And here's the thing. I'm not saying that, because it is a battle, right? We're battling our flesh. We're battling our emotions. We're battling our attitudes. I'm not saying that we have to have this low view of ourselves. However, we do have to be aware that there are low parts in each of us. And I don't care what or who you are. There's always something that you need to work at.
Absolutely.
Always something. And it would do us well to keep people around us that keep us knowing, lean a little bit closer.
What do we
say? Roses really smell like, they do.
Honesty is the best policy. We say that all the time. Because when a person is honest with you and they are giving you truth, and truth is what shines the light on a lie, it exposes darkness in your life. It is a beautiful thing when a person can operate in truth, tell you the truth, so that you now have the ability to expose the hidden darkness or the hidden pride that's operating in your life. Because again, sometimes pride is blinding, which means you don't know it's there.
Yeah.
And you need people who are willing to see past all that brightness and tell you the truth that is coming out of you.
And so what do you think, and we're taking a curveball right here. What do you think makes people not want to, address that when they see it in someone, like in a relationship? If you see pride in someone or you see, arrogance or whatever, what makes me as a person who sees that apprehensive about addressing it?
Well, I think sometimes when people see a prideful person, a lot of times they don't think that prideful person is going to listen to them anyway, because they care more about their opinion than they do your opinion. That's how a lot of times pride shows up. So they don't necessarily care what you have to say.
So is it still my responsibility to say something though?
I think in certain,
or do I just say I'm not gonna waste my words?
No, I think in certain instances it is, but again, if you're taking this truth to a person and they can't handle it, then after that point, I'm not gonna take it to them anymore. Because I have taken that information to a person, and we have taken that information to people and got kicked off the island.
Yeah, and so I'm bringing this up because a lot of times, and a lot of times this happens in a dating relationship where one person, whether it's the male or the female, can see something in the other one, but they hold their tongue and they don't say anything because they don't want to upset the apple cart, for lack of a better term. You better start speaking up. Look at me, look at my eyes, speak up and say the thing, right? If you see the thing, pray the thing, and then say the thing when you're released.
At least give it one try. You know what I'm saying? At least be willing to say it to them and go to them in a way that they may be able to receive it. Don't take it to them rude. Don't go to them nasty. Go to them in love.
That's what I like.
Hopefully they can hear because that can be a battle. If you're taking it to them in a way that they can't receive it, they're gonna war with you.
Fire begat fire.
Listen, absolutely.
Right,
so Dr. Patrick did put his information. It's the Renewal Center. And his website is there in the comment field. Can you read that off, babe?
It is www.therenewalcenters.com.
Praise God.
www.therenewalcenters.com. Please go there. Check it out. See what he has to offer. It is blessing people's lives. I've heard lots about it, and I don't know. I'm like, I need to go out there and check it out to see if it's something I might benefit from. Always looking for self-improvement over here.
Absolutely. Dr. Thomas, what's going on, man?
Another doctor friend. He said, good stuff. Conflict breeds intimacy, and a friend pushes you to your destiny. That's why your mate has to be a friend. Exactly. So when you are my friend, I love that, right? Because if we are truly friends, I'm not intimidated by you. You're not intimidated by me. We could say whatever the thing is and be okay. We might need to go to our corners for a minute, but that friendship is the basis and it's going to be there.
Let me tell you about Dr. Thomas and his wife.
Sharon, I love y'all.
I want to call her Dr. Sharon, but I call her Boss Lady. I had the privilege of working for them at Kalima, and I got to watch them work together, and it was just beautiful to watch how they handled one another, even in high pressure moments. They were
special anointing.
What he said, like literally, they were able to operate in that love towards one another, even when it was intense, like not them being intense, but the circumstance and situation, because we were dealing with children, that was intense, so we, the way they handled one another, the way they love one another, man. I never had the chance to tell you guys that, but it was a privilege to sit and watch you guys work together, man. I mean, real talk. So thank you guys for setting a great example. And when I tell you those two are shakers and movers, God has really blessed them to do some really amazing things. So yes, we got more comments.
Yes, I love that though. Conflict breeds intimacy, right?
Listen,
because I'm not going to be in conflict with you if I don't have a care about you. There's a passion coming from me if we're in conflict.
We're gonna have them on. We're gonna listen, y'all gotta meet
Line your train up.
Yeah,
line
man,
it up.
Have them on.
Let's see.
Pastor E.
Hey, Pastor E. No, she's checking out.
What's going on, sis?
Patrick Brown, not addressing it is like the check engine light being on, but I put a piece of tape over it. And I'm laughing. Look, I'm laughing hilarious because one of my very good friends said that one of their parents was doing that. They didn't want to see. They didn't want to see the light. But I'm like, the light is telling you something's wrong.
It's telling you
don't cover
wrong.
It up. Don't cover it up. I know you were gonna go in another area of battle, but I want to interject one area, and hopefully it's not the one you were going. I don't think it's the one you were going to. I think you're going up top. Love you. Up top. Love us. Love you too. Another area where we battle our speech. our tongues, our what
Absolutely.
we say. All right, because a lot of times, so here's the thing, what I love about God, he's very creative in his purpose for each of our lives, right?
Yeah,
And so he will have this beautiful picture painted, but because we can't see what he's painted in our mind, we can't conceive it, which I think that's where you're going at.
Yeah.
But we can't conceive it, so we start speaking against or speaking opposite of what the painting says or what the picture says. That's a battle. The mouth, our tongue, our speech.
Listen.
That's another area where we battle. So we need to get our speech aligned with what God has said. And how do you align it? You get in prayer. And I don't care. Some of you might say, well, you know, we have some new YouTubers watching. You may say, well, I'm not really a Christian, but I'm going to tell you right now, prayer works. Prayer work. You don't have to be a Christian to pray.
Okay. That as well. But take the principle from it. If you don't believe in God, right? And you are a person who are having some challenges in life, I dare you to go get biblical principles right now and start applying them to your life and watch how your life changes over the next 10 days.
Because the principle is the principle.
Listen, that's how you get to learn the power of it. When you start applying the principle of it, when you start applying it to your life and it becomes to take root in your life. Listen, man.
Yeah. And then, and for some of you say, well, I don't know about prayer. Okay, then just start speaking. When something is going well, don't start speaking against it by saying, well, I'm just waiting for the bottom to drop out, or that you are basically undoing what is trying to be done, the good that is trying to be done, and the good that is trying to be worked out in your life. When you start saying, oh, I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop, or it ain't gonna last for long, guess what? It ain't. And guess what? The other shoe is gonna drop. And Absolutely. It's not gonna be, because it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
You just spoke it.
Creative power in your mouth.
What you speak, you will have. 9 times, if you keep speaking negative about your life, I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick. I'm gonna be sick.
Get ready to cough.
Because you just literally spoke out with your mouth. Listen, you got to understand, we were created in the image of God. So the same power that God had when he spoke his words is the same ability and power that we have when we speak our words, because we are like God. So you have to understand, good or bad, when you start running your mouth, when you start using your words, good or bad, something's coming back to you.
And if you can't think of anything good to say, just zip it.
Be quiet. Don't say nothing at all.
Zip it.
For real. Because a good portion of the time, the thing that keeps issues or battles going is words that cause conflict. If you constantly saying something crazy to a person, how much do you think how much do you think they can take you always popping off at your mouth? It's like your spouse. If your spouse come in your house and they keep popping off at some point in time, it's gonna go left.
That part. And then the same is true if you're in your marriage or in your relationship, you keep speaking negative about the person you're in a relationship with.
Absolutely.
You are continuing to plant seed after seed, and then water them, and then plant some more, and then water them. Then next thing you know, in your person that you're in a relationship with, you got a whole bed of weeds.
Listen, man.
And you're wondering why. Now, I'm not giving that other person an excuse to not control themselves and to prune and get themselves together, right? However, if I keep speaking to my husband negative things, what's the matter?
Oh, okay.
If I keep speaking to him negative words, I'm gonna see the fruit of what I'm speaking.
Absolutely.
You know, it's like literally what you put in is what you're gonna get out.
Listen, and a lot of times we don't understand the power of what we're sowing and how what we sow, we're gonna reap that.
Yeah.
Good or bad. What you're putting out there, at some point in time, it's gonna come back and smack you right back in your face.
You got that right. And even last thing, and then I'll let you get to your point because I know we're getting to time, but your job, and I'm saying this because, like I said, we have a lot of people. Some of you may not be married, but I hate this job. These people suck. This gets on my nerves. Guess what? Nothing other than what you're saying about it is what you're gonna get out of it. All right. So even it may not be the best situation, but how about God? I just thank you for even giving me a job at all. Lord, let me see the value in it and then turn around. Bless me with something different. Some of us don't move ahead because we stun our own growth because of what's coming out of our mouth. So that's another area of battle.
We have to change. We have to change our perspective in how we see things. Like, if we're not watching, if we're not governing how we see will dictate how we speak.
Man, you're getting all in the thing because I was trying to let you move on.
Well,
we battle with our sight as well.
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's like because things don't look like we think they should look, then we start having this inner conflict. Well, I don't look like, or my job situation doesn't look like what I thought it would look like at 48, or my relationship status doesn't look like what I expected at this age.
Listen,
it's a battle.
Don't let what you see tell you a lie, because what you see may be lying to you, especially if how you're seeing is not rooted in the right thing.
Yeah, and that goes back to what Elder Sis said. You know, what you see may be factual, but it's not always the truth.
It is not the end all to be all. Mm-hmm. Just because it's there, it doesn't mean that it's going to live. Just because it's come up doesn't mean that it's always going to be there. And you have to be able to see yourself past that place so you can speak past that place.
That's right.
Listen, when I didn't have a job, I kept saying, I ain't worried about it. I'm going to get a job. The right job is going to come along. I'm going to land where I'm supposed to land. I wasn't frustrated. I wasn't mad. I got a little bit concerned because our bills was getting behind, but I was like, Lord, I trust you. And I believe my job is on the way. And it showed up. As a matter of fact, I had a couple of offers. I had a choice. Why? Because I spoke it. I spoke it into existence. I believed it. I didn't allow what I saw to dictate my words. I allowed my words to dictate what I would see.
And that's what you got to know. You got to know you have that kind of authority to let your words shape your world.
Absolutely. Y'all better start talking right, man. Some of us, we don't talk right. Get around people that talk right. Get around people that show you how to overcome your battles by their lifestyle. Get around people that talk right, that think right, that live right, that act right. Get around those kind of people, because those are the kind of people that will, by their actions and by their conduct, teach you how to be different.
They will. And don't be afraid of different, right?
Absolutely.
Sometimes, and I was telling, I was talking to somebody, one of my girlfriends, and just sometimes we can get so used to how we are living, and I'm talking about beneath our privilege, like mediocrity. We get so used to that when something great shows up or a great opportunity shows up, we don't know how to operate in that space because we've been so used to lowballing, or we've been so used to operating here when really we need to be up here.
Listen, this is how I see things now. If I got my sights up here, what's going on down here ain't even in my sight. I'm not wasting my time with things and people with low level thinking. I'm just not doing it.
Right. And that's what we call, that kind of is what you were talking about when you were saying, you know, we don't acknowledge it. It's not that you're beneath me, but those situations are physically under, when you're up here trying to go here and stuff is happening around here. Physically, it is beneath you. You are looking down on it.
Absolutely.
Don't look down. Pastor E said we aim low on purpose at times in order to avoid disappointment. That's true.
Listen,
that is the truth.
But see, this is how, like, I really believe that we have to start culturing ourselves. Disappointment shouldn't culture how you view and live your life, though.
Yeah.
Because you have to understand that disappointment is going to come.
So it's almost like you have to build the possibility of disappointment into every experience. Not out of negativity, but it's an offensive play, right?
It's going to happen.
Yeah.
You're going to be disappointed.
Offensive.
How are you going to handle when you are disappointed? How are you going to show up when you're disappointed? Because the word tells us that trials and tribulations are going to come.
They are definitely going to come. What you going to do with them?
What are you going to do when it come, though? What's going to come out? When you're done, what's going to come out? When it comes, what's going to come out of you? Because what comes out of you is going to show you what's in you.
You got that right. And it's either going to be what you're battling, right? What you're overcoming, or what's battling you, what is beating you down. That's what's going to come out when the pressure is applied. You know, when we're in these battles, whatever is in us is what's coming out.
Absolutely. And you have to understand, when you are shown what's in you, that is now your chance to be something different. If you don't like what you see, change what you see. Do something about it. Do something about it, because you can.
Stop making excuses for lowballing. Stop making excuses for living beneath, right? Because again, disappointment will come, but disappointment is it passes. It's not where we stay. We don't live in disappointment. He says, what you gonna do when they come for you?
Right.
You got that right.
Listen, because
bad boys, they coming.
Listen, they're coming. Like, and I believe a lot of times those moments are the birthing ground to greater faith. When you have a trial and a tribulation, and you're able to see past that, you're able to talk past it, you're able to speak over it, and you actually overcome it, that encourages your faith, that grows your faith, that gives your faith strength, that gives you confidence in the God that you serve. What Elder Sis say?
She said, pride makes excuses, humility makes adjustments. Let's get adjusted. Speaking of, y'all see me, I'm kind of crooked today. I'm looking at myself. I need a physical adjustment. But yes, absolutely. Pride will say, but I is the first thing, or but this, or but they, but no. Humility, you know what? Let me do something different.
Y'all saints been coming.
Y'all coming through tonight.
Y'all been coming through tonight. I'm trying to tell you, y'all don't bless me tonight. Well, saints, it is that time.
What was the last battle? We ain't gonna talk about it tonight, but was it the mind?
The mind.
I knew it.
Absolutely.
That's a whole hour by
itself. We're gonna have battles part 2 next week. We're gonna deal with the mind next week. And I really hope that you guys come on, tell somebody, share this with someone if you think the information is helpful and it really is encouraging you and putting you in a better place. Don't keep this to yourself, but share it with someone else. Hey, and if you want to be a financial blessing, hey, it's on you. If you want to, please do. If you don't, hey,
I'm trying to get it in here.
We're not gonna hold it against you.
Right.
But if God is leading you to bless us, our cash app is $
right here.
The Marriage Village. Absolutely. So if you want to go on and give to the Marriage Village, please feel free. Do not feel obligated to, but give according to how the Spirit is leading you to give. If
I
that's
tried
what
to get it in
He
there. Y'all
wants.
pray for me.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm the worst at that. Dr. Brown says, thank you for your words and wisdom. Thank you for chiming in. Thank you for just being here with us. You know, the village, we do what we do. If it is your first time joining again, this is Marriage Village Mondays.
Absolutely.
We are here most Monday nights at 9 p.m. When we're not here, we try to make that known as well. But we're really just all about building relationships. Single, married, everybody get in here so that we can be the best version of ourselves, so that in whatever relationships we are entering into, we can show up as that person.
Absolutely.
In those relationships.
And please know that, hey man,
love you, elder sis.
We absolutely love you. Understand that each day that you have on this earth is another opportunity to be a better version of yourself. Mm-hmm. So the question for tonight, for you to ponder on as you're resting, and for you to grab hold of when you wake up in the morning, is how am I going to show up? How am I going to show up? What am I going to do to be a positive influence in the atmosphere that I'm in? Whether that be work, whether that be church, whether that be in relationships, how are you going to show up? And go ahead.
No, go ahead.
And show up.
And the other thing I would say, also for your homework tonight, identify those areas that you're battling in. Yep. Identify what you are actually battling with. Yeah. So that you can put it before the Lord and pray about it. Don't be jaded, right? Don't let previous negative experience mess you up for everything moving forward. Yeah. You don't have to succumb to whatever battle is happening with your vision, with your words, with your attitude. What was the first one? Your emotions. Yeah. Thank you, Lord. You don't have to be a prisoner to any of those things.
Not at all. And matter of fact, when you get those things, write them down, and we are going to pray over them. You know, like we might not pray over them over the feed next week, or we might. Who knows? But bring those next week. What are the challenges what are the battles that you're having? And if you really want to get over them, we are going to touch and agree with you. And we're going to believe God's best for the situation. And we're going to see these things change. We really believe that.
Thank you, sis. Pastor E, we see you putting that dollar sign in the Marriage Village. Appreciate you. You know your girl over here sometimes. I'm challenged.
Listen, I want to put this information out there because I know our bishop is going to be on us about this. We are going to be doing more things in the Columbus area. And so, if you want to be a part of those things, we will be sending information out. So, if you want to get the updates and you want to be a part of those things, please make sure that you send us an email to www.themarriagevillage.
Oh, no. Just themarriagevillage@gmail.com.
Yeah, my bad. I'm thinking about our website. Yeah. So please let us know so we can start giving you that information. All right, guys, we love you.
We love you.
Have yourself an amazing week, man. And till we see you next week, we believe that God is going to be with us. Battles Part 2 next Monday. Part 2. All right, we love y'all, man.
Love y'all.
Peace.
Good night.